Tom's right down there. Yeah, there you
Tom is
go.
down here.
Okay,
All right, thanks. I forgot that last time too.
I'm your virtual assistant.
okay.
Did you have a question, Ken?
No, I was just, I guess what you wanted added was the ATV golf cart, was to be, insurance was to be required on common property, in the general rules. So with that being added, was there anything else that anybody had?
And any reference to lake rules were removed, correct?
That's correct. I think that was pertained to just the lake rule book. Is that the way you see it, Deborah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Everybody in agreement with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that was easy.
I'm sorry, what?
I said that was easy.
All right, bylaws, amendment 2021, discussion, Paul Forbes.
I will be reading, this will be new business at the board meeting. I will be reading the text. I don't think it's necessary for me to read it now unless everybody wants me to. It's fairly lengthy.
I think you can bypass it until the monthly meeting unless anybody has an objection.
I'll be reading this on the monthly meeting and for the first reading on December 8th. And if I'm not there, I will ask somebody else to read it since that is the day that I'm going to get my first injection. And that is scheduled at 5:40. I hope to make the meeting, but who knows? Traffic may be bad in Putnam County that night.
Are you planning to make a motion to suspend the rules?
No,
So get it done one time?
no need to.
Say again?
It doesn't have to be, there's no deadline on this. We just have to get it into the rule book. So is that right, Deborah?
Yes.
As far as changing the rules, or this is going into the bylaws, and we are not sending out the bylaws, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so we can go ahead and do the normal 2 meetings, one in December, one in
February.
February and one in March, and then the new bylaws will be ready by the time the season opens.
The only reason I suggested that is because you're right, the boating season is going to be opening and people are going to want to be doing the testing. So I just thought they might want to be aware of what the requirements are.
Well, this particular rule just basically identifies the board's responsibilities and the fact that we can fine everyone. It has no specifics in it. It just gives us the right to do what we already sent out to the people. It's a overview of the board's responsibilities concerning the rules. Okay.
So will this be new business or
New
old
business.
New business?
Yes, it will. And then it will be old business the following month.
Gotcha.
Any questions from anyone in regard to the bylaw agreement amendment? If not, we'll go right to lake rules. That was voted on one time with 7 votes in. And one person didn't vote the way I had the count, if that's right.
That vote was for suspending, if I'm not mistaken. We all voted on the lake rules, correct, at the last board meeting, and it was unanimous. And we sent out an email for votes to suspend the second reading because of time.
So we could get the rules printed and out.
Right. And those are being printed and being sent out with the ballots. So that was the reason to suspend the second voting. We assumed there was going to be no difference in voting. the lake rules have been, we have just gone over and over those lake rules. So I think everybody understands what they are. Anybody probably attending any meetings for the last 6 months have been privy to all those lake rules we've discussed. Anybody else have anything?
If
So
not,
that-
what? Go ahead,
So
Ken.
So that is not going to be on the agenda for the board meeting. That'll be removed.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, that will go to write-offs if no one has any other questions on lake rules. And Deborah,
Okay. Y'all have seen a copy of the suggested write-offs,
I have, yes.
okay? The total being 15,769 and 30 cents. And of most of these, they sold on a tax sale. So this is the balance from the owner that let the property go.
Anybody have any questions of Deborah or concerns or heartache over this?
Nope.
Okay,
Okay.
if there's no further discussion, we'll move to the policy book.
Hey,
Tom?
Rick.
Yes,
Rick,
yes,
The only question I have on the write-offs, does this have to be voted on or,
yes,
okay, so this will be on new business?
yes.
Okay.
And I assume Deborah will present it at the meeting, is the way I see it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we'll move to policy book governing documents. Tom?
I was wondering, I don't know if I need to make a motion, but I would like to table this issue until we have the new board seated and discuss it at that time. I don't know if I need a motion, but if I do, I'd like to make a motion to table this discussion until the new board is seated.
What's your thoughts on that, Tom? Why you want to wait?
Because I just want the opinion of the new board.
Well, I think you can bring up anything you want.
Then if I need a motion, I'd like to make a motion to suspend this discussion until the new board is seated.
Anybody on here have a problem with what Tom's requested?
That'll be on March.
Correct.
Okay,
No, that would be at the end of March ops meeting, correct?
I think it could be an agenda item if we agree that it should be added to the March agenda item.
Okay.
okay. I think it's so moved, Tom.
Thank you.
2020 year-end meeting discussion. Ken?
All right. I just brought this up because between now and the next board meeting, we probably, we need to decide, are we having our year-end meeting? How are we having it? Are we having it at the clubhouse with limited guests? It's just something we're gonna have to think about, whether it's gonna be Zoom, because I have to have some preparation time, whether we have it at the office or not. I am in November. I put it in the manager's report, not November, February. We're gonna open the office to one guest at a time. I'll have some instructions posted at the door. We are going to ask if one person is in the office being waited on, the second person has to wait in the hallway between the entrance door and Rick's office, so they won't have to pass each other. So we will open the office, but just one person at a time. We had found out this morning there was not a Heritage Lake resident, but a local resident that passed away of COVID. So this stuff is still around. It's still real. Yeah, I think by having one person in there, that's still being safe by wearing a mask and just allowing them one at a time.
Okay,
So between now and then, unless you want to talk about it now, I just need to decide. Our next board meeting is going to be in February. I'll have about 2 weeks to get ready with the setting up of it. However, we're going to set it up. Order the refreshments. The speakers and all that kind of stuff that gets set out. So it takes a little while to get that in preparation. So I just thought we need to take the time to kind of think about it. Think about what you guys want to do.
It sounds like you're more inclined to not have it in person.
Well, I'll do whatever you guys want to do. I definitely don't think we need to have a full house if we have it there. I think we need to space the seats out and come up with an amount of seating that we can safely have. Basketball games are now starting to allow 1,000 people in their stadiums, but to keep spaced apart. So I don't know. I'll do whatever you guys want to do. If we have, I think we typically have maybe 50 to 70 people come to the annual meeting. If we space it out and for 25 people, is that going to be upsetting to some people that they can't get in?
I think you had right at 100 last year.
Or are there going to be board members that refuse to be in the building with 25 people?
Well, that's why I'm bringing it up. It just
Lot to think about here.
everybody needs to feel safe, and like I told Rick Miller today, I don't want to be the one responsible for him getting sick from somebody coming in the office and having that on my conscience. So if you have some unhealthy issues personally that could this stuff take you to the grave, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I'm leaning to have a Zoom meeting.
And with the Zoom meeting, it would be easier for people who aren't there to hear us, because I know in the past, even when it's uploaded to YouTube, they have trouble hearing the whole group. And I really haven't had a chance to look at the system in person to get it set up to have everybody hear it. So as far as technology goes, it would be great to do it over Zoom, because most people have been doing well with actually, I think everyone's been doing well with their Zoom and not talking over people and speaking clearly and being able to be out there.
anybody else?
My only interjection here would be, how many people can be on a Zoom? As many as you want?
Up to 100
Okay. So
with the current license we don't have.
Yeah.
that should work. I mean, if we were going to do anything in person, and that was the decision that was made, I would certainly suggest no. It can't be like it normally is. You can't have refreshments. You can't have any of that kind of stuff going on. It has to be very limited. So with Zoom, you're going to open up to a greater portion of the neighborhood. And if we make that decision relatively quickly, I think we can use our vehicles of discussion and blitz it out to the neighborhood and give enough people the information that it is going to be on Zoom. Therefore, the people that like to use social media can tell it on social media, and we use our vehicles the way we've always used our vehicles and do it that way. But I agree with Ken. I think it needs to be decided relatively soon. I'm not sure that February 8th is the time to decide. We know it's not going away by the end of February. Matter of fact, it could be worse by the end of February. So that's my input.
My concern is past annual meetings, we had the committee chairs give their reports. Would we still want to look at them doing that over Zoom? That was the majority of the meeting, actually, the biggest time.
That still would be appropriate.
I agree, Tom.
I think if Rick Miller can manage the who is muted and who isn't, I think it could be controlled with the committee members.
Well, Ken, we'd have to get from you and the office, everybody that's going to speak and their names. And so that Rick would have that and we would have that on our agenda for the annual meeting to be able to announce them. And then Rick can turn the mics on and off. If, number one, if Rick's willing to do it. We haven't even asked him that part yet.
Yeah, that's no problem, guys.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Deborah, isn't all that information in the annual mailer that's going out?
Not committee reports, no.
Okay.
I th-
So we can get that information to Rick Miller and
Yeah, I think on the cover of the annual mailer, there was a comment about COVID-19 maybe changing the meeting location.
I think it should probably be on Zoom personally, just because of the COVID, but we also need to ask the committee people and have them give us a positive yes or no that they're speaking and that kind of thing, rather than have their name there and nobody be on there from that committee.
I'd be happy to get the list of committee chairs and email them and ask them that question for you.
Okay, great. And then could you follow up with, we'll need that. The office would need it and all the board members would need it prior to our Zoom meeting.
Certainly.
Okay, if you want to do that, that'd be great, Tom. And talk to each committee person that you don't get a response from that, yes, they're not going to be there, or yes, they are going to be there.
I'll talk directly to each chairperson.
Okay, great. Anybody else have discussion on that? Anything else we could do?
Just to refresh my mind, that date again is what, April, Deborah?
February 27th, Saturday, February 27th.
Last Saturday in February, Tom.
that is the 27th.
We still going at 1 p.m.?
Yes.
I think it's at 1:30, isn't it? Is that what the mailer says?
I don't have one in front of me. It's 1 or 1.
I thought it was always at 1:30. I'm sure I wrote it down, so let me check.
I'm looking. All the information that's important in the world is in the highlights.
Very true, Paul.
Something tells me it was 1:30 because I always thought that to have it.
I could always wait until I get my mailer.
I haven't received mine yet.
Either that or I'll wait until the February highlights are published.
We could surely find out tomorrow easily. I mean, I've got something around here that has that date on it.
I know the date. I don't know if it's 1 or 1:30, but we can get that answer tomorrow.
Thank you.
Deborah, can you put out an email tomorrow to all of us what time that is, please?
Yes.
Okay, we'll get that. That'll be taken care of. Any other discussion on the annual meeting, Ken or anyone else?
No.
Okay. We'll move to the election candidates. I will announce that Scott Coyle, Grant Feldhake, Shannon Lieb, Summer Ramsey, AJ Stafford, Nina Stibbins, and Dick Warner will be running for the board.
Has Summer Ramsey dropped out?
No, she did not.
Her
No,
face is right on the computer.
Yeah,
I just didn't hear her name, I'm sorry.
I did say it, didn't I? I thought I did.
You did.
I did too.
Okay, that's
Just
seven.
for,
Seven, we had 8, and that Kathy Johnson, I believe, was the lady's name that dropped out. Tom.
Thank you.
Okay, and I will announce that. I will talk to the election committee and let them know we're going to do Zoom. And I assume they'll count the votes at the office. Normally, we have the votes are open until the meeting starts. With us not having a meeting at the office, I'll get with them. Maybe they can just put it, a voter could put their vote in the mailbox until 1 or 1:30, what time the meeting starts. And then at that time, they can go take those last votes and start counting those. And that way they can make an announcement towards the end of the meeting, who won out of the 7 people.
I received a text from a very reliable source that the meeting has always been at 1:30. Very reliable source.
Tell Judy I said thanks, Ken.
Okay.
Okay, swim lessons, AJ.
Okay. So I got an email from one of my mowing customers, and they have a daughter named Grace, and she is interested, and I can forward you guys the email so you can see her resume, qualifications, and whatnot. But basically, she was curious if, because they're lake members and they could use the pool, if we have the ability to allow her to teach swim lessons in the pool, if that's allowed, not allowed. I guess that would be the short version of the discussion before I spend a lot of time. Is that allowed for someone to teach swim lessons at the pool and make money doing it?
To my knowledge, this is the first time we've had a request, and there's nothing in the rules that I'm aware of that speaks to that issue.
Okay.
Correct me, anyone that has seen something other than that. That's how I remember.
The people taking the lessons would have to be members.
And
Correct. She has everyone that would be as a member, if you're a pool, hello. I'm trying to discuss swimming lessons at the pool right now.
Okay, board members, what's your opinion on this for AJ, please?
Can we check with our insurance regarding our liability?
I was thinking the same thing. We probably need to check with that and our attorney just for their input.
Can you handle that piece of it, Ken?
I sure can.
Anybody else have other heartburn questions or think? I think it's a great idea if there's no issues like liabilities or anything like that. I think it would be good for the community personally.
I do too. Anybody learn how to swim, that's a good idea, but I just want to make sure that the POA was protected just in case.
Right. And her proposal was one-on-one swim lessons, so it wouldn't be groups. We wouldn't have COVID concern stuff. So
Can you get me her resume or qualifications, whatever you had, just
Yep.
in case I'm asked? Okay.
thank you.
Is it worthwhile to consider, the time that lessons would be offered as opposed, so we wouldn't interfere with the community's access to the pool?
She has that listed in her business proposal as well. I think it was Mondays and Fridays. No weekends, so you wouldn't be interfering that way. It's actually a really well-written, shouldn't say it really is. It's a really well-written proposal. I was actually pretty impressed all the things it listed out. If they were a pool member, it was like $25. If they were a non-pool member, it was $30. I'm assuming to cover the per use fee. But yeah, I can forward it to you guys here. I'll do it here. But like I said, I didn't want to spend a lot of time on it. If something in our bylaws or rules or something said, I knew the insurance might be a question, but other than that, I mean, you guys interested in going further on this?
I would like to get Kim's answer before, with the insurance people and our attorney both.
I would say, I'd say let's put it as new business and I'll have you an answer by then.
Perfect.
Everybody got good with that? Yep. AJ?
Thank you.
AJ, is her last name Elmore?
No, it's Fisher, Grace
Fisher.
Fisher.
Okay,
And they're in JV.
all righty.
I think it's like 42 JV. They live right down from Mary Petruzzi.
I know where it is if it's 42. Okay. Okay, does anybody else have anything else?
If I might, Rick, can I interject one thing?
Well, sure, Tom.
This is on, the topic would be Zoom license. And I just wanted to start out by saying, that we have greatly appreciated Rick Miller has given us his time and resources to allow the POA to use his Zoom account to conduct our board and operations meetings. But I believe it's time for maybe the POA to pay for its own licensing. And the reason I think this is I think an additional feature we could offer is we could offer our community members the ability to hold their committee meetings virtually through Zoom. And I don't know if screen sharing is activated.
Did somebody just activate it?
1 second, you'll have it, Tom. You should be able to.
Can anybody see this or not?
Not yet.
Okay.
I can't. What's the cost of this, Tom?
Okay, try again, Tom.
That's what I was going to show you.
Okay.
Try again, Tom. You should be able to.
What are we hitting?
I don't know.
You
Screen share.
shouldn't have to hit anything unless you want to go to a larger screen.
Oh, I see. Okay. Share screen. Okay.
There it comes, Tom.
Thank you. This is the pricing list, and the package that I'm recommending is the Pro package, the $149.90 for a year. Basically, it would give us all of the features that we currently have. And I really think if we would purchase this package, I think we could reach out to the community, because I have heard requests from some committees about them being able to do their committee meetings, keeping the unity and the cohesiveness still in our community. I'd be more than happy. This particular license offers between 1 and 9 individuals that could initiate a Zoom meeting. And I'd be more than happy to help anybody to get acquainted with this. I just think it's a benefit that we could offer and throw out to our community. I think the pricing is remarkable.
Anybody here have any discussions that you want to have before we had put it on the agenda for the meeting to vote on it?
I just would thought that next one up, that 199 one, you can go up to 300 people. Like I said, I don't think we ever really get over 100, but other than maybe the annual meeting. But I don't know, for $50 a year, I feel like whatever that next rung up was, Tom, I'm sorry, I didn't catch the name on it, what it was, pro or business or whatever. Whatever that $199 dealie was.
It's called business.
There you go. Yeah, I'm thinking that one because that's, you can record the transcripts. We could brand it, which might be cool to put up the POA logo on there. I don't know. Kind
I
of take
agree.
us to the next level.
Yeah,
I
just,
agree. I think the other advantage to that is, we don't have anybody, all of a sudden we get to the number and somebody wants to get on and then we'll hear about that. So for $50 a year, we can assume that we'll never go over 300.
That's cheap. That's cheap insurance in my book. You know what I mean? If we're gonna pay for it, let's pay for the extra $50 and go to the $200 one. In my eyes,
Does everybody agree to put this on the agenda under new business and with Tom's name on it?
is it possible just, since it's such a minor amount, just, with the normal Ken's budget, just go ahead and initiate this? I'd be more than happy to come into the office and work with Ken and use your credit card, Ken, or the POA credit card, and set this up.
It can, but I'd like for the board to vote on it at the monthly meeting, Tom, if you don't have a problem with that.
One logistical thing that you'll want to provide for when you do this is the video recordings, and either Grant or I can help you make sure whoever does those recordings knows how to post those to a YouTube channel so that you can share them widely online or through email or whatever you choose. But that's logistical overhead somebody has to assume.
Yeah, I'd have no problem assuming that, as long as I get the user account and the password to get on YouTube, our YouTube channel. I mean, the POA's YouTube channel, I'm sorry.
If you all end up switching to a POA Zoom account, I'd like to request that offer Rick Miller service and have him still kind of facilitate this. I think it's nice not to have to, we could all have a meeting and not have to worry about muting this person and muting that person and manage it while we're trying to have a meeting.
I agree. I think that quote unquote third party just kind of doing the AV stuff in the background is super helpful. So we're not forgetting things and we're not missing things. And it's not putting a burden on either Ken or Deborah to do any more things because we already burdened them with enough things to do.
That's if Rick Miller would like to do it.
I'm here anyway, folks. So if I can help, yes.
Now, I have a question about this. Can we have, I assume that when we're inviting the entire community onto the Zoom, that they're all just going to get a link just like I got or everybody else got.
Yes. Yes.
They get a link and a password.
Right. If we want to use this Zoom for an executive meeting, we would just change the link and change the password, and then we could have just the board members on a Zoom executive meeting. Is that correct?
That's
Yeah,
exactly
change-
correct, Paul.
You can change the password for each meeting.
Okay.
So you can control who comes and goes.
I've got a question. Can you hold more than one meeting at one time?
Absolutely.
Okay. I was just thinking if the committees happen to line up their times or something and two of them happened at the same time, if that would cause an issue.
Yeah, you can set up multiple meeting IDs as well, and I think that's how you achieve that.
Okay.
Well, I can go the whole year without wearing pants.
Just Just don't stand up during the meeting.
Okay, Ken, can you put that on the agenda for the February meeting and Tom, with Tom's name on it, please?
You got it.
Can we put it on the agenda and suppress the rules for that particular vote?
Sure, as long as that's your motion that you bring up when you get to that on your, in the meeting in February.
I don't think that that's gonna come under rules, is it? It's just a
That's only $200. I don't think a $200.
expense.
No, I agree, but the committee members and whoever's listening will understand what's available.
Okay,
That was my thought.
So do you think it would be a good idea, once we get the license, to open it up to committees?
Yes,
Yes.
I thought that's why we were getting it.
That's one reason, yes, correct.
Okay. Who else do you see using this, Tom, other than committees?
I see the Heritage Lake Book Club, I see the Heritage Lake Homemakers. I know at least one member from the Heritage Lake Garden Club has reached out and queried this particular option. So those are three groups that I know about. I know, if I could just interject, I don't want to put him on the spot, but I know Dwayne Kelly's on the call. Dwayne, do you think the siltation committee would use it?
thumbs up.
Well, Tom, when you brought this up, you said committees. I didn't hear anything else other than committees to use it and the board. That's all where I was going with that.
Committees and clubs.
I didn't hear that part.
I'm sorry.
Fired.
Well, I mean, that's a board decision who you want to open it up to, but I know clubs, basically, one aspect would be to keep the, if you want to use the term unity within our community, still alive and active.
I understand that. That's another reason why it needs to be done in an open meeting and the board listen to it. Because I didn't understand on this Zoom meeting, it was clubs. Not that I'm against clubs. I think if it's going to work, it'll work for clubs and committees as well. But where do you stop it? Do you stop it at committee and clubs, or do you keep going to other things?
I'm not sure what other things you might think of.
Well, I didn't think of clubs. There could be something else, I guess. Just put it on the agenda, Ken, and we'll discuss it at the meeting. How's that?
Okay, will do.
Anybody else have anything else?
Oh, I did send that email to you guys. I forwarded it to you, and you don't have to try to read it now, but I
Already
did
read
forward
it.
I bet you did, Paul.
Okay, with that, I'll take a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Adjourn.
Favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? So moved. Meeting adjourned. Thanks, everybody.